So Charlotte got approved for the treatment through the necessary channels. In her first week, Charlotte went from 356 the previous week to 0 the next week. In 1 month, Charlotte will be 2 years on the medication, and Charlotte is still 99.7% seizure free. Charlotte went from catatonic, obviously lost all of her skills, couldn't speak, couldn't walk, couldn't talk, couldn't eat, and now she wants to be a ballerina. Charlotte's not an isolated incident here. Zakai was our second patient. Zakai suffers from a rare form of epilepsy known as DOSA syndrome. Zakai was having over 200 subclinical seizures a day, lived in a catatonic state, and when we met Zakai Jackson and his family about 2 months after Charlotte, he was in hospice. He was in palliative care, and the family was again saying their goodbyes to Zakai. He had lived this way for 10 years. Zakai was 10 years old. Back in October, I can tell you that we celebrated Zakai's 1-year seizure-free anniversary. And even his epileptologist says if I hadn't known this boy to be severely epileptic, I would tell you that he does not have epilepsy. Again, not an isolated incident. We are currently treating 300 children in Colorado, 10 of which, shamefully so, have moved from Kentucky. All of the 300 have moved from somewhere. We already have the people in Colorado. 300 families moved from all over the world. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable as humans, okay? Especially when we're talking about such a benign substance here that hasn't killed anybody in 5,000 years of recorded history. For a parent to stand across an invisible border and a boundary that we call a state and watch their other children get well, and know that there's nothing that they can do for their child because they live in Kentucky or they live in Kansas, it's unacceptable. Something has to happen in that regard. So we started an organization called the Realm of Caring Foundation, and now another organization called Strains of Hope. This organization is run by my brothers, who treat these families. It is nonprofit. We do strive to keep this medication extremely affordable. Through our organizational efforts, we've been able to help craft legislation. I actually was able to author House Bill 1284 in Colorado and co-author the cleanup bill, House Bill 1043, the full research and development portion, which has allowed us to get to this point to understand why this plant is doing what it's doing. And I really think it's important here. I want to add that we're not just talking about childhood pediatric epilepsy. We're also talking about autoimmune dysfunctions, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, depression, PTSD, Parkinson's, ALS, MS, Alzheimer's. And in autoimmune diseases, in our laboratories and with our scientific partners who are actually a part of my team now, the same scientists that I was studying 10 years ago, Dr. Raphael Meshulam, Dr. Mark Rosenfeld, Dr. Ruth Galili out of Jerusalem, we're actually showing that we're not able to reverse, but we're literally stopping the progression of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, ALS, and MS through the use of the cannabidiol treatment.